Spiffyguy, and I'm back with another around the home video, and this time we're talking about everybody's favorite barrel, the garden barrel. And we're gonna move it this time because, as you can see behind me, I got a fence, and I'll roll a little clip here where you can see I have no more deck. So consequently, the garden barrel had to move. So we moved it on over here, and we're gonna put a new soil mix in there, and we'll take that opportunity to improve the garden barrel a little bit. So let's get to it. So we relocated the garden barrel down here, and you can see we're digging the hole. We're just going to square out for our pavers, and I'm using some paver sand and a torpedo level, and we're just going to get it nice and level in there. We have a little bit of a hill here, and we may have to do some adjustments at this section here to reinforce that, but we're going to level out the pavers first. Alright, so here's the pavers all leveled out. I ran out of paver sand, but I was able to use some of the existing dirt that I dug up out of there. So just make sure it's level. Make sure you got something hard to put your garden tower on, because there's going to be a lot of weight with the all the dirt in there and the plants. So just make sure you got a good solid base to put it on. So the next thing we need to do is we need to mix the soil. Now this is all the soil. This is compost that I got last fall from our local recycling center. They have compost up there. And I'm going to try to use the Mel's mix, which is from the Mel Bartholomew's book, The Square Foot Gardener. That's the same kind of soil mix that I'm going to try to use on my raised bed. Okay, so Mel's mix here wants you to use basically three components. They want you to use the sphagnum moss, the peat moss, vermiculite, and compost. Now he recommends that you source your compost from 5 different sources. I've only got one. I got a little bag of mushroom compost I'll toss in there as well. And so essentially what we're going to do is equal parts of these, and we're going to toss it into the wheelbarrow, mix it together, and then pour it up in the garden barrel there. Now let me just point out that this 3 cubic foot of peat moss was $10 at Home Depot, and this 2 cubic foot of vermiculite, which was kind of hard to find at Home Depot, and it was about $21. This is pretty expensive stuff. So you got a choice whether you want to do full straight compost or, you know, do a mix like this. I would recommend, if you're doing the garden barrel, to at least toss in some peat moss, and the reason being is that's going to help retain water and give you a lighter mix, so your garden barrel is not too heavy. This is what he recommends for the raised beds as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use you know, a full bag or multiple bags of vermiculite, just because of the expense. It can get pretty pricey, but doing a soil mix like this, you're only going to need to do it once. You won't need to rototill and add in and all that. You'll just end up layering compost on top as it settles. So that's the point of this. And if you're following his method, where you've got a raised bed that's as little as 6 inches, then you may not need to buy a whole lot of soil. But I'm going to get this mixed up, and we're going to toss it into the garden barrel. So once again, we got equal parts sphagnum moss, compost, vermiculite. Be careful with this stuff. It's kind of dusty, so make sure to do it in a well ventilated area or wear a respirator. So let's mix it up. And there it is, all mixed up. And it's definitely lighter than straight up compost. So if you can, do the sphagnum moss. If you can afford it, do the vermiculite as well. We're going to start filling this thing up, and it should, in theory, take about a total of 7 cubic feet of soil, I believe. So the proportions of the 2 cubic feet of vermiculite and 3 of the sphagnum moss should be about right. Alright, so we have the whole barrel filled up, and I went ahead and I stuffed handfuls into each one of these little pockets here, because you can see they kind of get compressed. This soil is really amazing. I mean, look at it. It compresses so much, and then it expands outwards. It's going to hold so much water. I'm very excited about that, because this you know, this garden barrel is going to suffer from, you know, evaporation and being in the full sun here. We have a little bit of a shadow with the fence, but during the peak of the day, this thing is going to get full sun all the way around. So anything that I can do to hold moisture into the garden barrel is going to work out well. And as you can see, I got some moisture leaking out here from the little bit of compost and what was inside the vermiculture tube, and I put that bucket underneath there, and then, you know, at least once a day I'll come out and I will empty that back in there. That way I'm not losing any nutrients, and the water is retained in the system. So it's going to be really awesome. And the next thing to do is to plant the seeds in it and also get the worms. So we're just waiting on that last frost date to come up here in the next week or so, and then we're going to get on it. And this is what I have left of the compost pile. All that compost that you saw earlier was all in the garden barrel, so all of that came out, and we still have this much left. And I still have probably half a bag of the vermiculite and a half a bag of the peat moss. So I'm really happy with the soil mix in this, and I think that this is really going to work out well. Alright guys, so as you can see, the garden barrel here is done and it's ready for planting. We're going to get to that next coming week, and we also have some raised beds going in, and we got a lot of fun things coming up, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want more information on this soil mix that I had, be sure to check out Mel Bartholomew's book, The Square Foot Gardener, because that is pretty much what I'm going to be using as my plan for the raised bed. You can also check out growingyourgreens.com. There's a very energetic guy there by the name of John Kohler, and he's got a ton of videos on soil. I think he's in love with this soil. He really is. So be sure to check him out. And until the next time, thanks for watching.